hopping on here today to discuss a very important subject that has come up from one of my fellow authors. That is the illegal pirating of published books. So what I'd like to discuss today is three things. One is for indie published authors, how to prevent becoming a victim of illegal pirating. The second thing I want to discuss is directed at the violators, the people who are actively participating in illegal pirating of books. I have a few things to say to you too. And the last thing I want to discuss is for our readers. How can you prevent illegal pirating and support indie authors? Because sometimes you may not even realize that you're supporting piracy. So those are the three subjects I want to hit on today, and I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. So for the first subject, if you are an indie author, how can you prevent yourself from becoming the victim of piracy? First is if you're going to recruit alpha readers, beta readers, ARC readers, even an editor, you need to have them sign a copyright agreement, and it should say something along the lines of this. If you are just handing out PDFs or Google Docs without having this signed, you are asking to be pirated. End of story. You have no protections. So that is the first piece of recommendation I have. On a side note, you should also be including in that document that they sign this, a no AI training agreement. That means they will not upload your documents to any AI platforms without your permission. I have had one beta reader request to upload it to like a narrating software because she said she has dyslexia and it really helps her read is to actually hear the words. I okayed that. That's fine. We're talking about generative AI here. Don't put my book into ChatGPT. End of story. I will have you sign an agreement that says you will not do that. The third thing you should do is obtain a legal copyright. I hear this argument all the time. I don't need a copyright because the moment I put words on a page, it's copyrighted. Yes, while that is technically true, it only retroactively protects you, and then you have to do all the legwork and get all the documents that are dated and time-stamped and present them to a judge to prove that you are said owner of this work and not the other person. You have to do a lot of work that costs a lot of money on the back end. Versus if you spend the $60 whopping up front, you don't have to do any of that. If someone pirates you, all you have to do is call your lawyer and be like, go get them. Done. So it is worth the $60 in my opinion. And yes, I did do this. So I highly recommend investing that $60 on your book to have it legally copyrighted. The last thing that you should do, and honestly, this should probably be up at the top, but I just had to put them in some order, is you need to use platforms that are designed to hand out your EPUB files in a protected manner. I'm talking about things like BookFunnel. On the platform with BookFunnel, they will watermark either every single page or just the cover or just the beginning and the end of the chapters, and it's going to say on there something like, illegal copying or distribution of this work is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved to A.M. Aurelia. So it's a lot harder for a book pirater to pirate a book that literally has that blasted all over the book, right? Yeah, it costs $100 a year, but it's a $100 investment that's well worth it in my opinion. Don't be handing out your EPUB or PDF file willy-nilly. Just don't do it. Use something like BookFunnel that helps watermark it, and they will also back you up too, that it's your book. So that's all the things that an indie author can do to help protect themselves from being illegally pirated. There's probably other things. I'm not an expert, so, look into if there's even more things. There probably is. But those are at least the basic recommendations. Next, I'm going to talk to the villains. Those of you who either have pirated books, or if you're thinking about pirating books, let me just give you some advice. So first of all, civil damages in the US. Copyright holders, such as myself, can sue you for statutory damages ranging anywhere from $750, may not seem like much, or up to $30,000 per book. $30,000 per book is what I can sue you for statutory damages if you try to pirate my book. Those fines can increase up to $150,000 if we can prove that it was willfully done, meaning you purposely stole my book and pirated it. It wasn't an accident. Because yes, some people do accidentally pirate books. I'm going to talk about that in the next section so you can prevent that. You cannot be sued for up to $150,000. But those of you who are purposely out there stealing books and uploading them on purpose, up to $150,000. So just think about that the next time you consider pirating someone's book. The next one is criminal penalties. Large-scale commercial piracy, which the U.S. considers 10 or more pirated copies. That's it, 10. You only have to pirate 10 times in order to be considered large-scale. You can have up to $250,000 in fines to the government and 5 to 10 years in prison. So, yeah. I mean, do you want to risk that? 5 to 10 years in prison for stealing a book? Dude, just don't do it. Lastly, you can face termination of your accounts. You know, whatever sites you were using to pirate books, they'll just ban you on there. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal to me, but you know, I mean, there's the icing on the cake. Go to jail for 10 years and get banned on your website, plus pay the author another $150,000. Those values do change. I think in Australia, it's up to $117,000 in penalties. In Canada, it's up to $20,000. So every country has different penalties and statutory damages claims. You would have to look in your specific country if you're not in the US, because I don't know them. So the last point I want to bring up is for our readers, because I guarantee you have probably accidentally pirated a book and not known it, and that's okay. But I do want to appeal to you because us indie authors, we are small businesses. I'm not talking about, you know, people like Rebecca Yarros, who has a publishing giant behind her. Dear God, if you try to pirate her books, I have mercy on your soul, because that's just dumb. But for people like me who are small potatoes funding everything myself, I may seem like a good target, but I'm not, and I have taken steps to protect myself. But anyways, we're talking now about the readers. How can you support an indie author and prevent book piracy? So here's what I got for you. We pay for everything ourselves, out of pocket, up front. Before I even see a penny earned on my book, I had to pay for everything myself. I didn't have a publishing company paying for it for me. I am the publishing company. Now, if you've read my book, you're going to see the publishing company byline that says Piddly Pinchers Publishing. I made it up. I just didn't want my name to be the publishing company because I wanted it to look more professional. Actually, I can't say that I made it up. My 10-year-old daughter made up that name after we went on a float trip and she caught a little crawdad and she said, oh, look, he's a piddly little pincher. And it just kind of stuck. So we named my publishing company that because we thought it was cute. But that is my publishing company. I am the publisher, and it has exactly one published book, and that is my book, Curse of the Gifted. It will soon have 2 when I publish the lost ones. So anyways, what does it cost to publish a book? I want to inform you readers that it does actually cost us a lot of money. It's not just our time. I won't even go into the consideration of how much time I invested, because for me, it was 6 years to write Curse of the Gifted and its sequential book 2 and book 3. So without going into how much my time is worth, we're just going to go with the hard costs of what I spent to publish my book. So first, book cover, $450. Custom cover from a human artist. I did not use AI and I did not make my own. Chapter headings and scene breakers, $250. Again, I used a human artist. Title page, $75. I'm not going to say it anymore. I didn't use AI or DIY for anything. I paid real humans every step of the way, or I did things myself. So title page was $75. Formatting, $200. Copywriting, $60. ISBN numbers, $90. Creating the DBAs, $40. Developmental edit from a professional editor, $1,500. Beta readers, $500. Proof editing, $900. Audiobook narration, $1,000, and 7 years of 50% royalty sharing. Goodreads giveaways and other promotions and marketing, about $1,000. Total expenditure to write and publish my book, $6,065. That is how much I have spent to publish my book. So when someone tries to pirate it and give it away to the masses for free, it hurts. You are hurting an indie author when you do that to them. We are a small business. We are people. We have invested in this business. And while for a lot of us, we love it and it's a fun and rewarding hobby, for a lot of us, it is how we make our living. It is how we put food on the table. It is how we pay our bills. We need this money to survive. I am a lucky one. I do actually have a full-time career outside of book writing. But a lot of my fellow indie authors don't. This is their livelihood. This is their income. Please do not pirate their books or my book, even though I have another job. Please do not pirate my book. I would really like that return on investment at the least. So if you are a reader who cares about reading great stories and supporting indie authors, then you won't pirate our books. You won't give away free copies. You won't support pirating of books by downloading said illegal copies that are free on the internet. Just go spend the $5 to $15 on the ebook. It really does help. Really, it does. Honestly, the other thing too, if you just ask us, most of us will give you a free copy. So if you're like, hey, I'm really hard up on money right now, I just can't afford that $5 ebook, send us an email and ask, can I have a free copy? I bet you'd be surprised. Most of us will very, very happily give you a free copy. You don't have to go illegally download it from one of these piracy sites. And you most certainly do not have to be the one pirating it. But that is how you as a reader may accidentally support piracy, is if you are actively going to those download sites and getting our books for free. Please don't do it. I know it's tempting, but guys, it's only $5 to $15. And like I said, if you can't afford it, just email me and ask for a free copy. I'd rather do that than you go download it legally. Don't support the piracy industry. And a side note, if you're feeling exceptionally generous on how to support an indie author, leave a review. That is all I have for now. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. Otherwise, I am so glad that I have the support of my readers, my family, my friends, and the indie author community.